Hey guys, so a few people have asked for a video on changing suspension. So in this one we'll try and cover the rear suspension. This is not the only video we'll do on it. This is what I've got time to do at the moment. So we are fitting a Donaldson's lift kit into a 150 Prado. Basically these are the items you need to remove. Obviously you've got to raise the vehicle, remove the wheels. I removed the 12mm bolt out of that bracket up there at the brake lines. Okay, so you can see that center of the picture now behind the brake line, the one on the left, it's a 12mm bolt right up above the rear diff, and straight up this ABS line. There's also another one you can see there, we've removed that, it's normally up there, that bolt came out, so that's straight upwards above the diff. Okay, I'll just back off so you can get the picture. Right, so back of the car, rear diff, one of them straight up there, and the other one from the rear sort of facing forward. Once you've got those two out, you need to remove the shockers. So that's come around the outside up the top here. They've already been removed. They're normally mounting there. The stock ones have got a 17mm nut on top. These ones had a 17 and a 19 underneath to hold the shocker. Sometimes you can use that. Sometimes you've got to hold it other ways. And then at the bottom you've got a 17mm bolt where the shocker goes on the lower end there. So remove the shocker pretty easy. Undo the nut at the top, push it down out of the hole, and then 17mm bolt out. And that shocker will come out of the way. Once you've got the shockers out of the way, then you need to get the sway bar out of the way. So the sway bar, we leave it on the vehicle, it's just the D bracket here. So two, in this case, on a 150, two 14mm bolts. On a 120, they're 12mm. So take those two bolts out and unhook the bottom of the sway bar. You can see the bottom of it there, it just hooks underneath. Right, so once you unhook that and got that out of the way, then the whole diff will be fairly loose and floppy, and you'll be able to just pull it down like this. If you can see that. Right, pull it down like that. Anyway, the easiest way to do it, the passenger side is the harder one. If there was a hard one, depends what springs you're putting in. The stock ones are going to come out easy. Basically just pull down on the diff on the driver's side, get that one out first. Get the passenger, and the driver's side one goes out forwards toward the muffler. Okay, so forwards, the bottom first, so lift it up and boom over that base there and towards the muffler, and then it'll come out in front of the diff. The passenger side comes out behind the diff. So you do, the passenger side one's harder, so you take that out second and you put it back in first, okay? So that one, you lift up the base here and slip it this away without hitting those brake lines, that ABS line there, and just bring it through this gap just here in the middle, just through here, and out it comes, generally is how you do it. So, but that's all I've got time for. I hope that helps. That's the procedure, obviously opposite to go back in. So this spring will go in, this spring will go in, we'll jack up the center of diff a little bit to hook those sway bar brackets here back on, those sway bar brackets, remember those, hook those over, two 14mm bolts, and of course then put the new shockers, the bottom bolt 17mm, through the hole at the top, the nuts, and of course re-secure those ABS lines and brake lines and ABS lines, whatever it is, whichever way it is, we're just quick. And then obviously get your wheels back on, check your torque, check over, make sure you didn't fit anything. But that's all the basic nuts and bolts you need to undo on the rear of a 120 or 150 Prado, very similar. That's for a GX or a GXL. Hope that's helped. So yeah. So we've got the old springs out and the new springs in. I just want to show you what I mean. So this is the passenger side. And so there's no clearance there. Like, you know, it's a pretty tight fit. They are quite difficult to get in depending which springs. And you come to the passenger side. Yeah, I can still get, easy to get this one in and out. So that one comes out first and goes back in last, if you get my drift. If you don't get my drift, pay a professional to do the job. All right, have a nice day. See ya. So final video, the rear suspension's in, and this is your checklist to make sure your rear springs are sitting in top and bottom. You've put those two brackets back up the top there. If you undid those, center of the picture for the ABS line, center of the picture for the brake lines. Okay, that covers your springs. The sway bar D brackets down here, two 14mm bolts on the 150s or 12mm on the 120s. Alright, and obviously put your shockers back in last. Top 19mm bolt, 19mm nut, sorry. Make sure the washer that sits underneath sits in position correctly. And don't forget that bottom bolt, the 17mm. So make sure your shockers are in top and bottom. If everything's secured, happy days. Again, if you don't know what you're doing, it's a matter of safety really, that everything is put back in correctly. This is to help the people that are doing it anyway, not to encourage you to do it yourself. If you think you can do it yourself, I hope that helps. So yeah.